Welcome to Moments Almanac, a time to remember the people, places, and events that leave fingerprints on the soul. Thank you so much for being here on July 13th, 2026. And today we are observing July 13th, 1813, when a small ship slipped into the harbor at Rangoon, Burma. No welcoming committee, no cheering crowds, no promise that anything waiting on shore would justify the voyage. A young missionary named Adoniram Judson stepped onto Burmese soil beside his wife, Anne. They were already carrying grief. During the voyage, Anne lost their first child through miscarriage. Before they ever arrived in Burma, they had been expelled from India by the British East India Company, which had little interest in American missionaries complicating colonial politics. And somewhere along the journey, Judson had done something almost unthinkable. After studying the scriptures during the voyage, he became convinced that the believer's baptism was biblical. It cost him his Congregationalist support, and in Calcutta he was baptized by immersion, becoming a Baptist before ever reaching the field of service. He landed in Burma with almost no support, no certainty, and no idea what obedience would cost. It would cost him nearly everything. Over the next 37 years, he buried 2 wives and several children. He endured 17 months in a Burmese prison during the Anglo-Burmese War, chained, beaten, and marched from camp to camp, while Anne desperately pleaded for his release. He spent years translating the scripture, one painstaking verse at a time, until the entire Bible existed in the Burmese language. He returned to America only once, when he died in 1850 aboard a ship in the Bay of Bengal. They committed his body to the sea. If you had measured his life only in comfort, it would have looked like a failure. But the kingdom measures differently. By the time of his death, around 100 churches and nearly 8,000 Burmese believers trace their spiritual heritage back to the day that weary missionary stepped ashore in Rangoon. Jesus once looked at the crowd and said, "The harvest is truly plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest." Judson believed that promise when almost nothing around him suggested it was true. Years after his death, the hymn writer Mary Ann Thompson would capture that same heartbeat. "O Zion, haste, thy mission high fulfilling, to tell all the world that God is light, that he who made all the nations is not willing one soul should perish, lost in shades of night." Judson himself wrote, "The world is yet in its infancy. The gracious designs of God are yet hardly developed. Glorious things are spoken of Zion, the city of our God. She is yet to triumph and become the joy and glory of the whole earth." What remarkable confidence. Not just confidence in circumstances, confidence in God's unfinished story. The church has always advanced this way, not by comfort, but by conviction, not because the path was easy, but because Christ was worthy. And so today, ask yourself, where has God called you to keep sowing, even when you cannot see the harvest yet? Who around you is still living in the shadows, waiting for someone to carry the light? So may the story of Judson enlarge our vision beyond our own comfort. May the hope of Zion become our hope. Lord, as your church, your body, give us a zeal for Zion. May we long to see your kingdom come and your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Extend our days, extend our courage, extend our mission. And may the faithfulness of those who have gone before us send us gladly into the shadows, carrying the light of Christ until every people has heard. That's today's Scattered Moments. Until tomorrow, take care Notice the scattered moments and share the grace.